And that actually makes me wonder because you put out the Don Dokken solo album following all of that. When did you decide, hey, this is my band that I created? I'm going to carry the torch. I'm going to use the name Dokken.
Well, after we broke up, George got a job, a record deal with Elektra's Lynch Mob, and they wanted to keep me as Dokken. And I thought this might be a conflict of interest to have Dokken and Lynch Mob in the same label. Somebody's going to take a hit on the promotion. So I left and went to Geffen. And I hate it when people say, oh, and you did your solo album. It wasn't a solo album. It was just going to be another Dokken album. But the band sued
And it's
me.
a great album, I should throw out there. Great album.
Come on, man. Up from the Ashes, one of the best albums I ever did. I'm so proud of that album.
I love it.
And it was kind of like a superstar group. Mickey D on drums, who had just left King Diamond and joined me. And then you had Peter Balthazar accept. You had John Norum from Europe. I discovered this kid, 18 years old, Billy White. We were a super group. But I go to Geffen and all of a sudden I get a lawsuit, and the three of them were suing me to take my name away. And I said, well, you can't take my name away. Sue my father or my great grandfather or my great great.
Which just happens to be a great band name.
Dad rhymes with rockin'. But I wasn't really worried about it. It was a very expensive, long, protracted lawsuit. But I thought, you guys can't take my name. It's my name. You can't take it away. But when we got to court, this 80-year-old senile judge goes, well, what's the difference between Don Dokken and Dokken? I said, there's a big difference. If I put my surname on it, people will think it's a solo album. That's what everybody calls it. No, it's just another Dokken album. And if I would have just called it Dokken, it would have sold 4 times more. But the judge, what they call it, he split the baby because Jeff, George, and Mick wanted to go on as Dokken. And I said, I will fight you to the ends of the earth for you guys going on as Dokken without me. And at the end of the day, the judge said, you guys can't use the name Dokken. Don can't use the name Dokken. But I can't legally keep Don from making records as Don Dokken. And that's what happened. So it took 3 years. And then finally, after they all went broke from snorting all their money up their nose, they came back to me. And I said, you want me back in the band? Just sign this piece of paper that you have no rights to name Dokken. I own the name. And sign this piece of paper. Otherwise, you're not coming back to the band. And they all did. They all signed off. So that's when I got the name back.
That actually sounds similar to the Guns N' Roses story, right? With Axl owning the name Guns N' Roses.
Same thing. And when they came back in the band, then I finally gotten a little older and a little wiser. I immediately called the lawyer and said, I need to trademark my name, Dokken. I need to patent it. I need to patent and trademark the name, the logo Dokken. I just never thought I needed to do all that bullshit with lawyers. I never in my wildest dreams thought the three of them would sue me for my own name and try to take it away from me. And when I got to court, I was like 98% sure that I would win, but I didn't. So I put out the album on Geffen and Don Dokken. And that hurt it. It did, 400, 500,000, but the album before had done 1.5 million. But I said, Your Honor, if I have to call it Don Dokken, they're going to think it's a solo album. And I made the point, like, you look at icons like Mick Jagger, he put out solo albums. They didn't sell shit compared to the Stones. And then Mick thought, oh, I'll get David Bowie. We'll do a collaboration. It'll be 2 superstars, Mick Jagger and David Bowie, and they'll sell millions. And they got a lot of money for that record. And then they put out that single, Dancing on the Streets. Of all the songs you're going to do, that's the worst song you could ever pick. It was a lame video, a lame record, and it didn't sell shit. Even with David Bowie's name on it, and they're walking down the street dancing. Come on, man. They could have wrote a brand new song. Or of all the songs they're going to redo, you don't do Dancing in the Streets by the Shirelles. It's ridiculous. So I knew, and David Geffen knew, he said, you got to fight for your name, Don, get your name back. But if we had to put out Don Dokken, it's going to hurt your record sales. And it did. So, but finally, a couple of years later, as the rest of the members were married and getting divorced and losing their houses and alimony, and they pissed all their money away on Ferraris, they all wanted to come back. And I said, okay, but you got to sign this piece of paper that says, I own Dokken. I'm going to trademark it, and it's going to be Dokken. You can never try to take my name away again. And that's what happened.
It's funny that I mentioned the parallel to Guns N' Roses because it sounds like the exact same thing of them reuniting. Axl still owns the name, Slash got divorced. Suddenly they reunite. So
Yeah.
yeah, I understand with that.